As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I'm going to share with you my biggest takeaways as well as insights and perspectives from this powerful book. Let's dive in. As a Man Thinketh is an essay and self-help classic which argues that the key to mastering your life is harnessing the power of your thoughts and helps you cultivate the philosophy and attitude of a positive, successful person. The main idea is repeated over and over and over again throughout the book, and that is our thoughts create our circumstances. Your thoughts create your circumstances. You are in control. I am in control. Now, that's if we choose to be in control of our lives. Because oftentimes people are looking at the external and saying that the external dictates how they live and how things will be for them internally. But when you know that you are in control, if you perhaps haven't watched my previous video on the 7 habits of highly effective people, check it out because in the video I share one of the habits in the book that Stephen Covey talks about being proactive. When you are a proactive person, you know that you are in control of your feelings and your actions. You're in control of your life. So James Allen is sharing this in the book that, look, you are in control, that I am in control. In fact, he said that man is made up, or rather, he said that man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. So it's all a matter of my thinking. I am the product of my thoughts. You are the sum total of your thoughts. Our circumstances are shaped by our character. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. Perhaps you've known people like this, right? Or perhaps you were the person where you said, I've got to change, or I need to lose weight, or I need to work on this. I need to do this and I need to do that. And it never happens. It never happens because you're looking at the external and not the internal. So someone says, well, I need to lose weight, but it first starts internally before it shows up externally. So a lot of people, they're anxious to change their circumstances. I want my circumstances to be better. I want things to be better for me. But what are you focusing on? What am I focusing on? What is it that I want to see change in my life? Remember, your circumstances are merely the results. They're just merely the results, just the fruits, the production, the harvest of your thoughts, which are seeds, which we'll get to in just a moment here. So instead of looking at the external, focus on the internal. How am I thinking? What am I thinking about? Do I believe I can? Do I know I can? Because if I don't think I can, or know that I can, or believe that I can change my situation, then it won't change. I can do everything externally. I can do all the superficial stuff and try to do all of that, but my circumstance will not change until I change, until I improve. That's powerful. That is very powerful because a lot of people are bound. They're just bound. They're never going to be free because they're still bound within themselves because they haven't focused on working on what they can control, and that's self. That's you. That's how you're thinking and what you're doing, right? And that's important that we focus on improving ourselves. And Allen continues and he writes that doubt and fear have never and will never accomplish anything except failure. Now, this is important because, look, doubt and fear comes. It always comes. without invitation. Have you ever invited fear and doubt? Like, have you ever done that? I've never done that. I've never invited fear or doubt, but it comes. It just, these two companions come. They come, and and it's important for us to remember that we can never accomplish anything except failure. Anything except failure with doubt and fear. So internal thoughts are in your control. Internal thoughts are in your control. So positively changing them can pave the way to success. So here's one other thing I want to mention quickly here is that worry is a useless emotion. Worry is a useless emotion. You can't add an inch to your stature. It was Christ, Jesus, who had made that mention there in the Gospels. He said you can't add an inch to your stature by worrying. So worrying is not going to do anything for us. So then what do we do? How can we stop worrying? Well, it's important to remember as well that fear and faith cannot reside in the same space. So fear and faith cannot reside in the same space. So once fear enters, then faith goes. Once faith enters, then fear goes. So it's important for us to, and this is what I love about this book, is it's important for us to watch how we're thinking. Like, what are we thinking about? What is it that we are meditating on? What's on our mind, right? What is it that we're thinking about? Because we are our thoughts. Your life is a reflection of your thoughts. You are your thoughts. You are the sum total of your thoughts. As a man thinketh, as a man thinketh, so is he. So it is important for us to again not worry and not fear. Now, that's easier said than done, right? But later on in this video, I'm going to share with you a few action steps, if you will, what you can do every single day to minimize fear and increase faith in your life so that you can achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. You can become the master gardener of your mind if you choose. Now, again, I want to just emphasize this point here because as I was reading this book and as I've read it multiple times, several times over the years, I noticed that it's a choice. Like all of this is a choice, right? It is a choice. You can own the book, you can read the book, you can watch this video, but it's your choice. You have to choose. It's up to you. It's up to me. So it's up to you to decide what it is that you want to do. It is your responsibility to decide. So you can become the master gardener of your mind if you choose. James Allen said, just as a gardener cultivates his ploy, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts and cultivating toward perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. Allen writes there. So this is powerful here, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But it's important for us to remember, groom your garden. You've got to groom your garden, groom your thoughts. Weed out all of the negatives. Weed out all of the weeds. Get rid of the weeds. Get rid of the negative stuff, the things that are useless, those thoughts that are depressing, that's pulling you down instead of helping you to climb, helping you to move forward. So good thoughts bear good fruit, bad thoughts, bad fruit. Good thoughts will bring good fruit, right? Because the thought is a seed. A thought is a seed and it will produce fruits. Now, it can be good or it can be bad. So if you have good thoughts, then you're going to bear good fruit. And if you have bad thoughts, you're going to bear bad fruit. So thoughts are like seeds. They will continue to grow and multiply. They will continue to grow and multiply. So let's go back to this up here, and this is powerful here, that That says, so may a man tend the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts, and cultivating toward the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. Now, later on in this video, I'm going to share with you the action steps on how do you do that? Like, how do you weed out the negatives? How do you do it? And then how do you cultivate? How do you cultivate toward perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, pure thoughts? And this is very powerful so that you are a master gardener. It is your choice. So choose to be the master gardener of your life. So your mind is a garden. My mind is a garden. So I am the master gardener. I can decide, I can choose, I can cultivate it, or I can just let it just grow wildly. And then with that, then you have weeds and you have all sorts of things growing in a garden that are useless, that are counterproductive, that won't help you in any way. Moving on, expand your thinking. Expand your thinking. One thing that I've noticed over the years of reading hundreds and hundreds of books is that when you read a book, there's usually one main idea in the book, right? There's usually one main idea in the book. So when I'm reading a book, I'm asking myself, what is the one main idea? Everything else will come in as supporting ideas, right? To that one main idea of the book. I've written 2 best-selling books. So when I sat down to write my books, I also thought about, okay, what is the main idea of this book? So every author who writes a good book, an effective book that will help you, sits down and plans out and asks themselves, what is the main idea? So the main idea, look, when you're reading a book, that idea, once it enters your mind, it should expand your mind. That one idea, that main idea of the book should expand your mind. And once the idea enters your mind is no longer the same. I don't know about you, but the more books I read, the more I listen to audiobooks and podcasts and other information that will help me with what I'm doing, I'm no longer the same after listening to it the first time or the second time of reading it or the third time reading it. So when you are reading, it will expand your mind. So expand your thinking. And he says in the book here, dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so you shall become. Now, this is important because it's talking about dreaming. Now, for some, you perhaps haven't dreamt much. You haven't sat to think about what it is that you want for yourself and what it is that you want for your life. But it is important to remind yourself, and I like that he says that here, that we should dream lofty dreams. Some people say, well, you're dreaming too big, or you'll never do this, or you'll never do that. Well, dream as big as you can. Dream as big as you can, because as you dream, so shall you become. As you dream, so shall you become. Moving on. Success starts with a dream. That dream, however, has to be more than simply wanting or wishing for something. Now, I'm going to pause here for a quick second. Some people say, well, I have the book and I did that first part. I'm dreaming big dreams. I'm dreaming big dreams, but dreaming alone is not going to help you much, right? Just dreaming alone is not going to help you. It's a package. There are a series of things that need to be done, that need to be in place, that you need to do continually in order to bring that dream into fruition. So here it is. The dream, however, has to be more than simply wanting or wishing for something. We must earn things, not just wish for them. We must earn things and not just wish for them. So some may simply visualize success, see themselves as a success and think, well, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to attract the life that I want. It's not going to happen. That will never happen. It just won't happen. Think about it. All the millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people who have this book, You would think everyone who has this book would all be super successful, but that's not the case. It takes more than simply wishing. It takes working, and it takes having a plan, having a plan where you're continually working towards that every single day. So he goes on to say, not what he wishes and prays for does a man get, but what he justly earns. His wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his thoughts and actions. Thoughts and actions go hand in hand. Thoughts and actions go hand in hand. So when it harmonizes, so I have my thoughts, I'm thinking about success, I'm thinking positively. So then now my actions will have to line up. My actions have to line up. I've had people over the years, after I present a keynote presentation, and people will come and say, I really enjoyed the message. Thank you so much. And they'll say things like, well, I've been working I've been working and I've been dreaming, these are the things that I want to do. And then I ask them, what are you doing every single day? What is it that you're doing every day that's going to help you to get closer to that goal, to help you get closer to achieving that goal? And they'll say, well, I don't really have much time, or this is what I'm doing. And I say, look, I like what Mike Murdoch said, Dr. Mike Murdoch. He said that the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routines. So if you want to know how far you're going to go, look at your daily routines. Look at what you're doing every single day. Are you putting in the work? So my thoughts and my actions have to line up. It won't happen if my thoughts and actions don't line up. It is so important, because some people say, I think positively. I read a lot of self-help books, motivational books, books that will help me to think positively and give me what I need. But then that's not it. There's more. There's more to it, right? There's a whole lot more to this. So your thoughts and your actions have to harmonize. They need to come together. So success is spelled WORK. In fact, it's spelled HARD WORK. It's spelled hard work. You have to put the work in. You have to put the work in every single day, day in and day out. You can't take days off. And what I mean by taking days off is you can go on a vacation, from your job or from your business. But what I mean is, like, you should constantly think about, okay, what ways can I get better? What ways can I improve this situation in my life? Every single day you're planning and you're executing, planning and executing, planning and executing. And if you do that on a regular basis, you will get to that end result that you desire. And then he goes on to say, our desires direct the world we create around us. So you will always gravitate toward that which you secretly most love. Now, some of us, we will say we want this, and then our desires say that, no, you want that. So your desires direct the world you create. So whatever your desire is, if you want to start the business, to perhaps to revolutionize the health world, if you will, to the medical world, and you say, right, here's what I want to do. There's this product that we want to create that will make it easier for physicians to operate, to do what they do. And you say, all right, this is what I want, and that's your desire. So every single day, that desire is going to direct you. That desire is going to drive you. So think about what it is that you want, and make sure it's something that you really want. If it's something that you really want, it's going to be that gasoline, that fire, that urgency, that passion that you have, that's going to drive you to continue to work in that area. So it's going to gravitate you toward that which you love, right? And it's going to help you to create the world around you. Moving on. Thought, habit, and circumstance. Now, this right here is very important for us to remember. Remember, in the beginning, I mentioned that Your thoughts are seeds. Your thoughts are seeds. So if you plant a thought seed, for example, let's take an apple seed. You plant an apple seed, don't expect an orange tree. That just won't happen. In a million years, that will not happen. You plant an apple seed, you cannot expect to get an orange tree, right? Am I right about that? So what you plant is what you're going to get back. So that's the law. So thought, habit, circumstances. With that, let's go on. Here's what James Allen said. He said, men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. So your thought can't be kept secret. So what you're thinking about most of the time, you are the sum total of your thoughts. So your thought cannot be kept secret. It will be evident in your life. It will show up in how you act. It will show up in what you do habitually. As he thinks, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remains. So as he thinks, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remains. So in other words, I am the sum total of my thoughts. I will become my thoughts. I will become what I'm thinking about. So clean thoughts make clean habits. Clean thoughts make clean habits. Rick Warren said that your beliefs create your behaviors. Your behaviors will produce what you become. Watch your thoughts and they become words. Watch your words and they become actions. Watch your actions and they become habits. Watch your habits and they become character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. So it all starts with your thoughts. It all starts with my thinking. That's the key right there. It all starts with how I'm thinking, because how I'm thinking is going to show up in my words, in my conversation. And my conversation, what I'm speaking about most of the time, will become my actions, what I do. And what I'm doing most of the time will become my habits. And what I'm doing, my habits will become my character, and my character will become my destiny, where I end up in my life. So again, let us watch our thoughts. When we watch our thoughts, it's a trickle effect, it's a domino effect. It will affect every other area that leads to that end point, our destiny. So how can we tie this all back into this application? How can I apply this? How can I apply what I've learned from this book? Now, here's what I've learned from the book. And perhaps from this video, you've learned a lot more. But here we go. You've got to weed out. That's super important. You've got to weed out the negative thoughts. Monitor your thinking. Monitor your thinking. See, we can't prevent birds from flying over our heads, but we can prevent birds from building a nest. So monitor your thinking. Monitor what you're thinking about, how you're thinking, and then begin to weed those thoughts out. And one of the ways, and I didn't mention that here, is like, for example, if you were thinking of a number, like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this quick exercise together. And I didn't plan on sharing this today, but I'm going to do that. I'll share it with you now, and that is, all right. What I want you to do is, I want you to say the ABCs in your mind. Just go through your mind with ABCs, and as you're doing that, I want you to say what I'm going to tell you. 1, 5, 10, 12. Notice that when you are speaking, as you are thinking about something, you stop the thinking, whatever it is that you were thinking about, to focus on what you're saying. So, which means whenever you have a negative thought, a doubt, a fear, whatever that comes in your mind, you want to weed it out by speaking something else, by thinking something else. And when you can catch yourself, you can say, let's say if you doubt yourself, you say, I'm too old, or I'm too young, or it's too late. I can't get better, or whatever. I want you to begin to speak to yourself. Say it's not too late. Someone else who was much older did it, and you can do it too. Speak to yourself, and as you're speaking, as you are weeding out the negative thoughts, you're reseeding your mind with positive thoughts. In fact, I want to go back to the Gospels. Jesus would always reseed himself with positive thoughts. There was not a time when he was reseeding himself with negative thoughts. He always reseated himself with positive thoughts. And that's something that we all need to do. We've got to speak it to get it out of us, get it out of our minds, get it out of our heads. And that's how you weed it out. So monitor your thoughts. Philippians 4 verse 8, it talks about how you're thinking. You want to read that. Powerful. And this is a guide by which I think. Whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are worthy of praise. All those are all guides that I want to make sure that the way I'm thinking is in line with Philippians 4 verse 8. And then how do you cultivate this mind? How do you cultivate your mind? How do you cultivate the garden to make it the very best, to get the most you can out of your mind? And the way you do it is to feed your mind with good thought seeds. Feed your mind. You feed your mind with good thought seeds, and you water your mind on a regular basis by reading good books, reading books that will uplift you, books that will help you to grow as a person, books that will inspire you, books that will inform you. Read. Reading will expand your mind more than anything else. Reading will change the way you think. It will shift your paradigm more than anything else. So you want to read. Next, you want to listen. Listen to positive information. Listen to inspirational messages on a regular basis that will help feed your mind, that will water your garden and help those positive thought seeds to grow. Next, you want to watch positive information, positive shows, messages, positive shows, messages that will help you to grow as a person, as a leader. And then finally, you want to speak. Speaking is important because you see, when I say monitor your thoughts, going back to this here, monitoring your thoughts, you notice that we have our ear gate, our eye gate, and our mouth gate. These are ways in which thoughts enter into our minds. So if I'm watching what I'm listening to, I'm monitoring that, making sure it's not something that's bad, that's going to deflate me, right? That's going to depress me in a sense, where it's making me think that, well, I can't ever do this. I can't ever go back to school or whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you're monitoring all of these things, what you're seeing with your eyes, what you're listening to, and what you're saying. Also, this also ties into your friends, the people you have around you. So if you have negative people around you, it is normal for negative people to sow negative seeds in your mind. If you have positive people around you, it is normal for positive people to sow positive seeds in your mind. So you also want to check your surroundings. Who you are around will affect how you think. So make sure you have the right type of people around you. So these are the ways in which you can apply what's shared in this book. It's a powerful book. I sure hope you have received value from today's video. And please do let me know in the comment section below, what is your biggest takeaway from today's video? Also, let me know what other books you would like me to share my book notes or study notes on. here on YouTube. So go ahead and do that right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to unleash your zebra. Be blessed.